Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest webinar in our PACE series. It's my great pleasure today to have Sumitha Kannan as our presenter. She's an author and an international certified professional trainer. She's an accredited Malaysian trainer / consultant specializing in strategic management and quality 4. She has a Master of Science in Strategic Quality Management from the University of Portsmouth and is an ASQ Certified Quality Manager and Auditor. She's a senior member of the American Society for Quality and a member of the International Professional Managers Association. And she'll be here today to talk with us about her BPT framework to achieve business profitability and customer satisfaction. I just want to remind everyone that we're recording this webinar today, so please keep your microphones muted and your cameras off. For those of you who aren't familiar with PACE, we're a nonprofit professional association dedicated to helping organizations make better data-informed decisions. They do that with the use of our profitability analytics models, which employs causal modeling. I'd encourage all of you to check out our website, profitability-analytics.org, for more information on the vast amount of resources that we have available for free to you. So having said that, Sumitha, welcome today, and please start your presentation.
Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Rev, for the kind introduction. Good day, esteemed PACE members. I would like to thank PACE for giving me this opportunity to share my views and framework to help organizations. The topic today is based on my book, The Business Profitability Triangle, that was self-published in July 2024. So today I will be covering 4 objectives. Firstly, to understand the essentials of strategic management and how aligning organizational goals with actionable processes drives long-term success. Secondly, identify key performance measures that link quality management to profitability and customer satisfaction. Third is gain insights into building quality-focused culture, including actionable steps to foster employee engagement and align with organizational values. And finally, to recognize the benefits of integrating quality culture to address global challenges such as ESG compliance and Industry 4.0 advancements, positioning organizations for sustainable growth and competitiveness. I tend to be a bit visual in my presentation, so I will be sharing a bit of colorful graphics, and I hope you will find that interesting. Based on the attendance list, the number of the participants who are from the finance and accounting background, as well as business leaders, I hope that this will give you a different perspective on the numbers you're crunching after today's talk. From the financial perspective, finance people usually present significant financial trends that impact the overall business strategy and decision-making process. And the focus is usually on key financial data, for example, revenue, performance, profit margin, things like that. But according to thought leader Benjamin Kofi Konza, who is also a financial and grants management specialist. And he also appeared in PACE podcast recently titled Beyond the Numbers, Leadership Values of High Impact Management Accountant. He said that to be a high impact management accountant, you need to go beyond the traditional financial reporting of cost control to become a strategic business partner. So today we are going to look at the actual story behind these numbers from a strategic perspective. And by the way, do watch his podcast if you have the opportunity. It is really a good one and aligned exactly with the ideas that I'm sharing today. But first, let's imagine an organization that has the following environment. Anyone can express their views on quality to senior management. Close to 0 safety incidents in a month. Management act on identified risks and near misses. There's no finger pointing or blame game. Focus is on improving processes. Continuous learning is supported with investment. Promises made are kept. No favoritism is observed. A high degree of ownership and accountability is seen. Feedback is encouraged. Employees are empowered to make decisions in their work areas. Values are visible on the work floor, and people who live the values are recognized. What kind of financial result do you expect from this organization? Do you think this organization is profitable with positive cash flow? Maybe I'd like your opinion, if you can, to type a yes in the chat box if you think it is going to be a profitable organization, or no if you don't think it is. Just to understand what you think about the organization. Anybody? Okay, never mind. But this is how an organization with a great quality culture would look like. This is based on an article in June 2023 of the ASQ Quality Progress magazine by Santosh Mishra and Mary Duffy. That is titled Cultivating Culture, How to Spot a High-Level Quality Culture in an Organization. I hope you all get a chance to read it. It's a very good article. So now the question is this how your organization is like? I'm sure everyone would like to be in an organization that reflects this value. But is it really true an organization with a quality culture can give a better result? Let's listen to this true story.
Let's think for a moment. What do businesses want? I am sure you agree it is profit and growth. How do they do that? What is the most important element for profitability and growth? Let me tell you a story. In 1982, at General Motors Fremont plant in the United States, employees had adversarial relationship between workers and plant supervisors. There were 5,000 unresolved grievances. Quantity was preferred over quality. At the same time, there were 20% absenteeism, which resulted in temporary workers hired to fill the gap. Therefore, GM decided to close the factory. At that time, Toyota Company of Japan was trying to gain entry to the United States market, and therefore proposed a joint venture with GM. And then UMMI was formed to manufacture vehicles in February 1984. What Toyota did, Ray hired the same people at the Fremont plant, with the prevailing industry wages, and had a no-layoff policy. 450 team and group leaders were sent to the Toyota factory in Japan for training and to learn the Toyota production system, and came back to train the other workers. Emphasis was on safety, built-in quality, and teamwork. Kaizen programs were implemented to encourage employee feedbacks for continual improvement. Employee grievances was attended to immediately, and employees were happy. Within 1 year, it became one of the most productive factories. Quality improved and absenteeism went down to below 5%. With the same site, same infrastructure, same people, prevailing industry wages, a superior result was achieved. What changed? A cultural shift to a quality culture of teamwork and continuous improvement, and a sense of pride in the workers boosted the company's performance.
So this story shows that it is not the building, the location, equipment, or even the wages, but the culture of the organization which we inculcate in the people. A quality culture cultivated with the right leadership, processes, and measures can help a company improve its performance. Some fun facts. Toyota surpassed GM in the world as the world's top automaker in 2008. In 2009, GM ended the joint venture with Tesla, with Toyota, and Tesla purchased the Fremont plant from GM in 2010, and it's reopened it as the Tesla factory.
Does your Let's think.
Therefore, I'm proposing a model for organizations to achieve a quality culture that results in long-term sustainable performance. Starting from strategy, which is the vision, mission, and core values, the Business Profitability Triangle model is a framework that connects quality management systems, performance measures, and that cultivate a culture focused on quality results to drive growth and excellence. Strategy is flowed into the processes to have an aligned business goals and objectives with documented processes. Then the right measures to identify non-conformance and tools to improve. This results in a culture focused on meeting the objectives of the quality management systems with processes aligned for profitability and customer satisfaction. The Business Profitability Triangle model provides organizations with a holistic framework for change throughout the organization in a structured manner. Strategic quality management consists of quality management system and the cost of quality measures, but I have taken out the measures in my model to have more focus on the importance of the right measures to build a quality culture. We will now look at the first objective for today, which is the strategic management and how we can align to the organizational goals to achieve success. First, in order to plan organization strategy, we need to understand our environment and our challenges through environmental analysis. Apart from internal governmental and political challenges, the external threats include globalization, liberalization and organizational expansion, institutional and technological changes, environmental and social and governance considerations. Of course, now we have tariffs and counter tariffs that increases the cost of doing business and business dynamics. We need a solid strategy, a measurable progress, and above all, a culture that drives the organization to be the best. What are the top 3 concerns in your organization? Let's reflect on it and hope you will get some ideas to overcome some of the challenges after my session. Strategy is based on vision, mission, and core values, and we develop corporate and business strategies and the strategic objectives with the strategic planning tools. Corporate strategy is referring to which industries to enter. For example, Tesla moved into the automotive industry. Business level strategy is what are tactics to compete, for example, in terms of best cost or best quality or catering to a niche market. Organizational quality culture is the result of the strategy from the vision and mission flowed into the processes via the operation strategy. This is captured in the planning process in ISO 9001:2015 under Clause 6. Operation strategy is the controls and procedures that is put in place to implement the corporate and business strategies into the processes. This is how a culture is cultivated by collective programming of the mind through the controls and procedures in the organization. Now, who determines the vision and ensures the vision is understood by the people in the organization? Let's hear from Steve Jobs.
The greatest people are self-managing. They don't need to be managed. Once they know what to do, they'll go figure out how to do it. They don't need to be managed at all. What they need is a common vision. And that's what leadership is. What leadership is having a vision, being able to articulate that so the people around you can understand it.
And that is why the success of the Business Profitability Triangle model to achieve a quality culture is dependent on the leaders. Strategic planning tools help to form strategic objectives from the vision, mission, and core values. Examples of strategic planning tools include bestows, which is short for political, economic, social, technological, environmental, legal. And the purpose is to look at the macro environment impacting all the businesses in a sector. Porter's 5 Forces is a model that helps analyze competitive landscape within the industry. SWOT is strength and weakness of the internal organization as well as opportunities and threats in the external environment. And Balance Scorecard is a tool used to develop strategic objectives by focusing on 4 key areas of perspectives, and I will talk about this a little bit later. Quality management systems are systems that cascade operation strategy into the processes to determine how the processes in the organizations operate. And some examples are ISO 9001, which is one of the most common standards in the world. Then we have ISO 13485, which is a medical standard for medical devices, which is more focused on regulatory requirements. IATF 16949, which is based on ISO 9001. Sorry, I go back. Which is based on ISO 9001, but it's more stringent for the automotive industry. Then we have the planning processes for improvement of the process. For example, the theory of constraint, TOC, Lean, PDCA, which is Plan, Do, Check, Act, and Six Sigma. These are some examples, and there are many, many more. So now let's go back to the balance scorecard to develop strategic objectives. It has 4 key areas, which is customers, process, people, and financial. Traditionally, finance people focus on the stakeholders and the attention is on financial results. However, without understanding and focusing on the other 3 aspects, it is impossible to achieve the financial results. How to achieve all 4 results? To meet the strategic objectives, we need an organization that has an aligned quality culture that focuses on doing things right. How do we get an aligned organizational culture? This is a bottoms-up view on how to flow the strategy into the organizational processes. There are various processes and functions in an organization, and I've given some examples here. For example, the RFQ process, purchasing process, engineering process. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough space here to add in the HR process, so I missed it out. So I hope there's no HR people here. I apologize if there are. And in larger organizations, the structure may not be very flat, as there may be middle managers who report to top management. In an organization with a quality culture, middle management plans the department KPIs that references the strategic objectives that was derived from the vision, mission, and core values. This creates an aligned organizational culture working towards a common goal. Therefore, we can see that middle managers play an important role in aligning the processes with the organization's goals. How do we cascade the strategic objectives into the processes? Through the organization's control plan, which records all the key processes in the organizations and high-level measures of performance indicators. And the review frequency to achieve these objectives. The action plan to achieve the objectives are identified and procedures are written for the process controls in the operations to meet the objectives. This is at strategic level. Each department will have their own KPIs and action plans to meet the strategic objectives with their performance indicators and procedures. This example only shows one line in the control plan for the RFQ process, but in an actual control plan, there will be multiple rows for the different processes in the organization. However, all these processes are working towards the same common goal, referencing the strategic objectives, which may usually focus on the 4 key areas defined in the balance scorecard. In ISO 9001 certified organizations, we need to have minimum and annual review of the performance versus the objectives. From the output of the annual review, we identify changes required in the context, risks, and opportunities, and action plans and procedures are revised accordingly to meet the objectives. So you can see that this is the plan process. The output of the planning process of the quality management system is the organizational control plan, and the procedures are the written for the implementation into the processes. It is important for everyone in the organization to be aligned based on the vision, mission, core values that is flowed into the organization's processes by setting strategic objectives and action plans to meet the objectives. Therefore, all functions are aligned towards the common goal. However, in many organizations, the failure to achieve objectives due to misalignment at different levels of the organization. For example, a disconnect between higher management and middle management, or employees in terms of actions required. This makes it very difficult to meet the goals. Which do you think is your organization? Is it number 1 or is it number 2? And if it is number 1, hope this talk will give you some ideas how to move forward to make it number 2. Let me share an example where strategy and leadership failed. Between 2018 and 2019, there were 2 cases of Boeing 737 MAX 8 crashes that killed almost 350 people. Not only that, there were several other safety and quality issues between 2019 and 2023. In 2021, Boeing agreed to pay $2.5 billion in penalty to settle criminal charges over accusations it had concealed information about its 737 MAX airplane, with Boeing admitting it had deceived the Federal Aviation Administration, or FAA, about its MCAS system's reliability. And finally, in early 2024, a door plug ejected from an Air Alaska plane due to the bolts were found to be missing later. Boeing had to compensate Air Alaska $160 million US. Because of all these issues, the government stepped in, and during the Senate hearing in April 2024, one of the whistleblowers who spoke was from quality team, Sam Salapore. 5 key insights from this hearing that showed a toxic culture in Boeing included intimidation for speaking out and concealment, process shortcuts during assembly, discouraged from reporting concerns by bosses, inaction on quality defect feedback, and criminal cover-up of the records. This is the point where quality loses its voice, suppressed by top management. As this chart shows, 2024 marks the 6th consecutive year in which Boeing had made annual net losses. And between Q4 2023 and Q1 2024, trust in Boeing plummeted. In an interview with NBC News in 2024, Michael Whitaker, administrator of Federal Aviation Administration, told NBC News that Boeing's priorities had been on production and not on safety and quality. Clearly, Boeing's top management was not aligned with its own core values that focused on safety and quality as shown in their website. If it were, KPI measures would have been to reduce quality and safety incidents. Many of the incidents could have been avoided by using a risk-based approach to prevent the incidents from happening. Boeing has a new CEO since August 2024, Kelly Ortberg, who is working to overcome all the challenges by working out of Boeing's manufacturing site instead of its corporate headquarters in another state. He has been focusing on turning around Boeing and expect to achieve positive cash flow by end of third quarter of this year after getting FAA approval to higher production rates. The most effective way for strategy deployment into the processes is by leveraging ISO 9001 standard or its equivalent standards. ISO 9001 uses the plan, do, check, act process cycle to systematically flow down plan strategy into the process by implementing the controls as per the control plan and the procedures together with individual product or service instructions and test specifications to manage the process. Output being the records of the process. This is followed by measuring the performance based on the output data and the records of the process and continuously acting to improve the process, resulting in a continuous cycle of improvement. With the latest revision in 2015, ISO 9001 comes with 10 clauses of systematic continuous improvement PDCA cycle centered on leadership. This framework of continuous improvement and process optimization allows companies to adapt to changing needs. Its structured framework supports agility and culture change. ISO 9001-2015 has 7 principles that focus on important aspects of the process, and they are customer focus, leadership, engagement of people, process approach, improvement, evidence-based decision-making, and relationship management. Let me ask some questions to ponder. Is your ISO 9001-2015 quality management system collecting dust in a shelf in your office? If yes, how do middle management plan KPIs to meet the strategic objectives? How many managers in your organization has looked at the quality manual to understand the roles, responsibilities, and the organization's goals? What is the reference framework for managing your processes if you do not follow the system? Systems fail when middle management does not work with the system, but sets their own goals and processes not aligned with the organization's goal, but maybe based on past experience or knowledge coming from a different organization, culture, or priorities. One of the benefits of ISO 9001 is the standardization of the processes through documented information. I'd like to share the result of an activity carried out during a workshop last year. The purpose of the activity was to build a dinosaur truck. given each group, there were 3 groups, and each group was given parts that made up the dinosaur truck, and each group had different instructions. The first group had only the picture or the diagram of the end product of the dinosaur truck. The second group had the end product as well as a simple explanation of assemblies. And the third group had the picture of the dinosaur truck, the tools for the assembly, as well as step-by-step explanation or instructions on how to assemble the truck. So a total of 6 steps to assemble the truck. Who do you think completed the fastest out of the 3 groups? If your answer is 3, group 3, you are right. It is group 3 that was the fastest, and they finished the assembly in 7.3 minutes, and they assembled it perfectly. So it was a good quality output. The second fastest group was group 1, and they assembled the dinosaur truck within 8.3 minutes. However, they found an extra screw after assembly, which means that the product was missing a screw. This brings to mind the Boeing case where the bolts were found to be missing. In a process approach, we blame the process, not the people. We need to look at ways to improve processes to prevent defects. This example shows proper documented information that has been prepared based on risk considerations and required controls will result in quality products or service by anyone who does the job. With a standard approach and risk-based thinking and customer focus, there are many benefits of ISO 9001 certification, and if implemented well, supported by leaders, it can improve the quality, productivity, and efficiency through the KPI measures. It can improve personal participation and collaboration between departments through a process approach towards the same goal. It can facilitate well-organized and transparent financial management through documented information. It can increase market share and customer satisfaction if the quality of the output is good, or the product or services is good. And it can remove many barriers preventing SMEs or small and medium enterprises from entering and expanding the market, because the certification advantage is when you have organizations that are certified, normally when organizations are looking for suppliers, they always look for suppliers that has a certification, because it shows that the suppliers has standardized systems and processes, and there's high likely of producing good quality products. Also, if you are a certified organization, you have standard systems and structures and procedures in place that makes it easier for you to scale your processes or to expand to your organization, to grow your organization, because it becomes more scalable. Finally, continuous improvement mindset, and it results in a learning organization and adaptability to facilitate change. This results in financial gain for the organization and with satisfied customers. Next, let's look at cost of quality measures, which is our second objective for today. At the measure stage, what we're going to measure is the cost of non-conformance. Then we can improve the results for those measures that are not meeting the objectives with the applicable quality tools. Annually, budgets are planned with all the planned costs accounted for, but very often unplanned costs creep into the financial statements. Why is that? If you look at this formula, revenue minus operating costs, which is what customer paid for because we quote to the customer on the operating cost, plus the cost of non-conformance, which customer did not pay for, is equals to profit. So therefore, in order to increase the profit, we need to reduce or eliminate the cost of non-conformance. When we plan for a product or service, we already allocated resources and its associated costs. Prevention costs is costs of activities specifically designed to prevent poor quality or non-conformance. For example, product review, risk planning and controls, education and training, design and evaluation. Usually these are the costs related to the NPI process or new product introduction process or the design stage, where the cost is manageable. Then we have appraisal costs, which are the costs associated with measuring, evaluating, and auditing products or services in the manufacturing process. This includes costs of incoming inspection, source inspection, in-process and final inspection or tests, in-process audits, calibration and measurement of test equipments, and associated costs of material and supplies. Internal failure cost is cost from the product or service not conforming to the customer or regulatory requirements. So it is before leaving the organization, the cost is scrap cost or rework cost or re-inspection cost, for example. Finally, external failure cost, which is the cost after the shipment or delivery of the product to the customer. And this is the cost of customer returns, warranty claims, and product recalls. Prevention costs are the quoted to customer. Prevention and appraisal costs are the cost of conformance because they're quoted to customer as these are the costs of producing the product or service. But internal and external failure costs are the cost of non-conformance, which is paid by the organization, therefore affecting the profit. The rule of 1-10-100 says if organization spends $1 on prevention, they can save $10 on appraisal and $100 on internal failure costs. And we don't need to talk about external failure costs, it's much, much higher. Cost of non-conformance increases as we move down the value stream. Therefore, our goal should be to reduce the cost of failures by increasing the spending on the prevention costs. Increasing the spending on prevention. In summary, the impact of non-conformance is direct financial impact on the organization and to the organization's bottom lines, impact on customer because it results in dissatisfied customers and long-term loss of business and reputation. Of course, also regulatory non-compliance, where you might have caused legal and government consequences, for example, litigation and penalties, as what happened in the case of Boeing. And there are other examples. Let me give you one more. In 2010, BP's Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded in the Gulf of Mexico. 11 lives were lost, and the worst environmental disaster in US history at that time that affected the coastline of 5 US states and took months to clean up. The cost of poor quality at the time was about $10 billion, and that was not including lawsuits. This was what customer did not pay for. This is the impact of doing things wrong. The root cause was found to be weak cement around the well. To save time and money, the contractors failed to properly test the cement. The cost of testing would have been only $128,000, and the time required 10 hours. This is what customer paid for. This is the cost of doing things right. Sometimes skipping processes may seem okay in the short term, but may have long-term consequences that could seriously impact the business. This could have been avoided in a quality culture. Strategies to reduce the cost of poor quality include eliminating the failure costs, reducing appraisal costs, investing in prevention programs, and investing in Industry 4.0 technology for zero defects. Of course, this is also part of the prevention program, but I will explain a bit more about this later. These quality tools are examples of prevention tools that can prevent defects if implemented effectively. And these tools can also be used for improvement of the processes. The benefits of reducing or eliminating cost of non-conformance is firstly, operation costs can be reduced, so this results in competitive pricing. Lower cost of non-conformance means fewer quality issues, so better quality products and services. Fewer quality issues means no delays in delivery to the customer and delays in resolving quality issues, therefore less risk of late deliveries. And this addresses 3 core customer requirements, which is cost, quality, and on-time delivery, and therefore increasing customer retention and reorders from satisfied customers and new customers from good reputation of the organization. So therefore, you have increased profitability. Now we will talk about quality culture. This is the third objective for today. Culture is the heartbeat of any organization. culture is the invisible force that drives every individual to do their best, to collaborate, to innovate, and to take pride in their work. It's the locker room motivation, the shared belief that everyone matters and that together we are unstoppable. It starts with leadership, the leaders who set the tone of the quality culture throughout the organization, and the alignment to ensure that to establish a quality culture. We need data-driven decision makings to ensure that there's no that the decisions are objective without blaming anyone. We need continuous improvement to achieve the company's objectives with the PDCA approach. We need employee engagement and empowerment to contribute to the quality initiatives, but this involves ensuring that the employees are skilled and knowledgeable. So they need to be trained. Especially if they're new employees, they need to be trained in order for them to be able to make the right decisions. And of course, we need teamwork and collaboration so that everyone is focused towards the same goals with a risk-based mindset. And finally, focus on the customer, because satisfied customers support profitability and growth. Remember, as explained in the beginning, there are 13 aspects of an organization with a good quality culture. Wouldn't you want this to be your organization? But there are 3 ways a quality culture can fail. They are, if the current culture is toxic, where people are punished for voicing their opinions. If top management does not believe or understand quality, leadership sets the tone in the organization. Therefore, if they do not support or they do not believe in quality, then it is impossible to achieve a quality culture. This is what happened in the Boeing example earlier. And if there is resistance from middle management, because middle management is the bridge that connects employees to top leadership and vice versa. In a 1989 study by Sidney Yoshida, it was found that 100% of problems are known to the line workers, 74% of the problems are known to the supervisors, 9% of the problems are known to the middle managers, and only 4% of the problems are known to the top managers. Therefore, it is important for middle managers to communicate effectively with employees and the top managers to ensure the correct information is getting to the top managers to make the right decisions to resolve the organization's problems. You face any of these situations in your organization? Now, to cultivate this quality culture, it is essential to equip your team with the right skills and knowledge. The 7 components of quality culture require targeted skills such as transformational leadership, business acumen, effective communication and negotiation skills, risk thinking, creative problem solving, and many other skills. These trainings can help transform your teams with the tools they need to build and sustain a thriving quality culture, one that drives operational excellence and ultimately financial success. If you need help in these areas, do feel free to contact me. As an example of a company that changed its culture through continuous learning is Microsoft. As a company, Microsoft has seen tremendous growth since its current CEO, Satya Nadella, became CEO in 2014. He changed the culture from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture, fostering continuous learning, customer obsession, and diversity. Microsoft is currently the 2nd biggest company in the world in terms of market capitalization. Number 1 is Apple, and number 2 is Microsoft. So the 4th and final objective for today: how a quality culture based on strategic quality management systems can support ESG and Industry 4.0 initiatives. First, I'll explain how ISO systems can support the implementation of Industry 4.0 initiatives. I can give at least 2 examples from scientific research of actual case studies. First was a Slovakian research found that total quality management helps create a quality culture that helps with adapting to innovation. Another research from Malaysian small and medium enterprises had similar finding that it provided a framework for IoT implementation with proper workflows and clear operational parameters that needed to be monitored. This is because AI systems are logical and based on structured processes. ISO systems help to provide structure and data-driven processes that support digital systems to mirror the processes in the physical world as a digital twin. The benefit of Industry 4.0 technology is also it can support the goal of achieving zero defects via a PDCA approach. First, planning the process for implementation of IoT or AI, then implementing the controls to detect and then the checking of the processes using AI vision and measurement technology that can detect defects, and followed by the machine learning capabilities that help to predict future defects to prevent them. This ultimately leads to zero defect by the machine continuously detecting and learning from the data, resulting in a PDCA approach towards zero defects. Some American car manufacturers and other organizations are already working on the machine learning systems to improve the results and move towards zero defects. In terms of ESG implementation, an international level research involving 4,292 companies located in Europe, East Asia, and North America also found the benefits of management system standards in the implementation of ESG initiatives. The companies were divided into two clusters, one with 59% with management system standards and another with only 9% with management system standards. There was a superior result in the cluster with more companies having implemented the management system standards, which you can see is the cluster one with the darker line in this graph, in this picture. This shows that management system standard does support the implementation of ESG initiatives as it provides the focus on the structure, systems, and measures that employees need to comply with, ultimately becomes part of the company culture. There were other researchers that had similar findings, and I have shared two examples here. One is from a theoretical research in 2023, and it was in the shipping industry, and another one from a Korean study of US companies from 2013 to 2022, which showed similar results. As shown earlier, leaders play the leading role in developing a quality culture by ensuring the organization's strategy is understood, internalized, and complied by the employees so that a quality culture of excellence becomes ingrained in the organization. Every new employee can be trained to absorb the culture, supported by leaders and peers to be aligned with the organization's goal and ensuring that the processes are meeting these goals. The failure in many organizations are due to leaders consigning quality to a department function due to the lack of understanding of the strategic quality management processes. Instead, leaders should ensure all process owners or middle managers are accountable for identifying and eliminating or reducing non-conformance in their processes towards meeting the strategic goals. As we speak, AI is becoming more intelligent. For example, now there are AI agents that can analyze data from the systems to learn and function autonomously. Leadership in all organizations must ensure AI aligns with wisdom and human values, fostering systems that serve collective good rather than unchecked growth. Visionary leadership is paramount for embedding empathy and foresight into the AI's evolution. This is through building the right organizational culture. For example, the engineers working with the AI algorithms in their machines are aligned with the organization's vision, mission, and core values, ensuring the output from the machines that are aligned with this organization's objectives and the greater good of mankind's future. I strongly believe the Business Profitability Triangle can help provide the focus and framework to achieve this goal. Thank you for your time to listen to my presentation. Hope you found it enlightening. Thank you.
Thank you for that very interesting presentation, Smitha. So much of what you just presented aligns with our PACE framework. It's built on understanding operations before doing operational modeling, before financial modeling, understanding the KPIs, and that can include quality measures as well as financial ones. So, and we talk about enabling a culture that supports the mission and vision of the organization. That include quality as well. So, this is a great presentation, and I thank you so much for presenting today. This for the audience, this presentation will be available within a week on our PACE website and also on various social media platforms. So if you'd like to see it again, you'll be able to see it again. At this time, we'll be able to answer some questions, and I will also be pushing out end of webinar poll. Please answer it before you leave today. So again, having said that, our first question that someone submitted was, how does aligning a quality culture lead to better business outcomes?
Because when we align the quality culture, we are doing things right. So we are trying to reduce the cost of non-conformance. So when we reduce the cost of non-conformance, what happens is we are getting better results, better quality, better and less money spent on correcting things. So we have better profitability. And of course, customers are happy because they get good quality products. So ultimately, it helps the business. It grows the business through satisfied customers and the good reputation of the organization.
Great, thank you. If someone wants to get in touch with you after this webinar, could you share your email address?
Yeah, sure. I think I will stop sharing now so I can put it on the chat box. Let me, because I need to copy paste.
Sure.
Let me stop sharing.
Sure.
Just a minute. In fact, I also thought I will share the Benjamin's podcast and the ASQ article. I'll share it in the chat as well, so that if anybody is interested, can actually go in and if you're an ASQ member, you can actually straight away log in. If you need the article, I can download and share with you if you're not an ASQ member.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that. Another question that we received was, what are some common challenges organizations face when trying to reduce the cost of non-conformance, and how can they overcome those?
Okay. Some of the common challenges for reducing the cost of non-conformance is firstly, the measures, what needs to be measured, not correctly identifying the measures, not having transparent data, and not having the correct tools to analyze and find the solutions for the quality, for the non-conformance. So, and sometimes if the culture is not good, if you don't have a quality culture, people can also be defensive because they do not want to acknowledge that there is a problem. So all these are due to the lack of skills or knowledge. So in a quality culture, the focus is on improving the process. So leadership will ensure that the employees are well trained and knowledgeable in order to do their job right. And the focus is on improving the process rather than finding fault with the people. So that is the challenge and the solution, in my opinion.
Great. I think you're definitely right track there. So this business profitability triangle framework, it's a change initiative, and I think it's commonly understood that those require leadership, any change initiative. So what role does leadership play in successfully implementing this BPT framework?
I think the leadership is key in the whole process, because I think from my experience, I have handled many peers and subordinates, and I find that they are not difficult because most people come to work to do their job. So they do not really want to, if you guide them and you encourage them and you have empathy for the employees, they actually respond and actually do the job. But the problem is when the leadership don't understand the process, and among the leaders and especially middle management, when we come from different backgrounds, sometimes different managers have different views of how the job should be done because they have experiences from their previous organization. Instead of following the strategic objectives of the current organization, they use their past experience to do to make their decisions. So therefore, it is not aligned with the organization's goals. This is when problems happen, when each department is working in silo, and that's when problems happen. So important is for the top management to make sure that the middle managers are all working in the same direction towards the organization's goals. And then the lower level employees will definitely be working in the same direction as well, because they are led by the leaders or the middle managers.
That's so true. It's always important for everyone in the organization to be aligned and rowed in the same direction. So that's very good. So I don't see any more questions. So thank you Sumita, for this interesting presentation. Quality is definitely an important part of organizational profitability and profitability analytics. So it's so exciting to have you present on this topic today. For those who you are, others attending this webinar, again, we have a lot of resources on our website, profitability-analytics.org, and you'll be able to find this and, again, many of other additional resources there. So I encourage you to go to the website, become a member, it's free, and become engaged in our organization. So thank you, everybody, today, and we'll see you on our next webinar. You can check out LinkedIn for our schedule of webinars. We have some great ones lined up, one next week and others in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.